Hey there. Before we get into today's episode, I've got something exciting to share with you. On Thursday, January the 9th, I'm hosting a free interactive co-working session to help you kick off Q1 with clarity and confidence. In 1 hour, we'll work together to pick the right goal for the season of your life, identify the resources you already have to make progress, and build a plan that actually works. No more spinning your wheels. This is the same process that helped me leave my part-time job and grow my business, and I can't wait to share it with you. So don't wait. Head to the show notes now and click the link to grab your seat. Let's make 2025 the year you finally take action on the goals that matter most to you. I'll see you there. Welcome back to the More Than Capable Mompreneur podcast. I'm Shannon Baker, a coffee-loving mompreneur that started as a virtual assistant and turned into a total systems geek. And I want to help you shift your mindset and embrace your worthiness while creating systems in your business so you can be more productive and build success on your own terms without the mom guilt. Are you loving that? Well, I hope you're ready for real conversations that will help you beat the perfectionist inside, rediscover your strengths, and up-level your self-love in the mom cracks of time so you can stop letting fear hold you back because you are enough and you do enough. We are more than capable mompreneurs. So grab your cup of coffee, some sparkling water, or pour a glass of your favorite wine and let's dive in. Welcome to episode 93 of the podcast. Today we're going to talk about clarity and how it impacts alignment in our business. Clarity on this entrepreneurial journey, we definitely hear that word a lot, right? And in my opinion, my friend Robin Graham has the best definition of this word. She defines clarity as knowing what you do, how you do it, why you do it, and who you serve. So when clarity is missing or it's incomplete, you end up frustrated. No matter what you try or how hard you try, things may not be working out. And when that happens, you may ask yourself multiple times why you're still trying. Or you may just say something's got to give. But before you throw in a towel, I want you to have a black coffee conversation with yourself and be honest about a few things. This needs to be done so that you can operate your business in a way that is aligned with what you really want out of life. That means that your life and your business need to be arranged so that they support each other. And my conversation with Christina Giordano is going to help you with this. Christina launched her consulting business in 2013 with the intention of providing marketing consulting in the wellness industry. But over time, her business evolved and now she's an e-learning provider, and her signature program is called the L.I.F.E method, L.I.F.E, which teaches members how to build a soul-powered business that is aligned with their values, driven by what lights them up, so that they can build success on their own terms. This includes learning how to market yourself in a way that's meant for you. So you're in for a treat in this episode because Christina is going to share her 4-step method to help us all create more alignment so that we can be more successful now and well into 2022. Thank you for joining us for this week's conversation with Christina Giordano. And I'm excited because what we're going to talk about today is a topic that's close to my heart, the core of my business. And, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, or you follow me online, I'm all about creating a business that supports your lifestyle. And that's what we're going to talk about, specific ways that you can make sure your business is aligned as Christina and I chat today. So before we dive in, Christina, tell us a little bit about your background and your journey and what it is that you do.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Well, my business, Christina Giordano Consulting, launched in 2013, and it pretty much launched as like a do-it-all marketing agency for those looking to get the word out about your business. So I've been in business for over 8 years now. And over the years, I've worked with agencies, private clients, larger organizations, helping them utilize the modern tools of entrepreneurship available to them. So it was very much marketing consulting as it is kind of the status quo. I hosted and taught at workshops, training seminars, large scale events. So I've really touched a lot of areas of the industry, and I was busy, like crazy busy. And it's important to me to also mention that during this time, I was also becoming, I guess you could say, more aware and more involved in wellness, particularly more conscious and spiritual practices. I actually started meditating the year that I launched my business in 2013. And having practices like that really paved the way for a major pivot to occur in my business. And it wasn't until 2018, after I had my first child, my son Callan, when I became a mom, that I started to get super burnt out. And as I said earlier, I was pretty much just a one-woman show with a never-ending array of offerings and solutions for people, whether or not those clients and offerings were truly aligned with me. I knew what I liked and what I didn't like, and I knew where my strengths and weaknesses were. And I had this underlying desire to pivot into e-learning. But it was really just an idea at that point. So it hadn't come to fruition. And then, of course, in 2020, as we know, things got a little crazy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those clients, those larger clients, especially, I lost them rather quickly because they didn't have the resources. And so I went a different way. Instead of kind of panicking and freaking out, I up-leveled my spiritual practice more than ever before. And my business completely changed. And I made the pivot into e-learning. And what I focus on now is soul-led intentional marketing consultant. So I basically help people, entrepreneurs, realign with how they show up based on their unique, what I like to call soul power. It's kind of like what lights you up. And my goal is to help them essentially become happier, freer, and more aligned so that they could actually, live the life and have the business of their dreams.
And I love that. Like when I see that all over your profile on Instagram, and was like, yes, I need to have Christina on. Then you were also on Allison Scholl's podcast. When I listened to that episode, I was like, oh, we are definitely, excuse the pun, in alignment with each other, because my approach to helping business owners create systems is holistic and not holistic, like most people would think, but whole, being the whole person, your entire lifestyle, because our business needs to be created and built out in the platform that supports the lifestyle that we desire. And that's where that whole lifestyle, or alignment, where that comes into play. So now, once you made this pivot, tell us, how can someone who's kind of feeling uneven, burned out with all the things, like what can they do to get more clarity to help them kind of pare things down to where their business supports what they really want or what's most important to them?
Sure. Yeah. So I think that if they're on this journey of alignment, I think the first thing they need to do is be radically honest about where they are in that journey. So it really didn't take until I completely was 100% aware that I was completely burnt out as a mom and as a business owner to really be able to accept the fact that I had to do something about it. So when you're going on this journey towards alignment, towards getting more in tune with yourself, towards having a business that truly represents who you are as a person, you have to have a moment where you're like, I'm done. Like something's gotta change. And it's really that moment where you get clarity, as funny as that sounds, you get clarity on what to do next. And so when you're going through kind of that rough phase of like, oh my God, like what am I doing? Like, what am I holding? What am I resisting? It's usually a lot of resistance that comes up at that point. Once you get to that point and you kind of leap over it, you can then go into identifying and discovering what it is that you truly want, why you want to start something new, why you want to take a different path. So first, I would say the first step is to definitely have that really honest conversation with yourself.
Oh, that's a big one, because we know it starts with our mindset. So it's once she says we recognize that we need to change, we need to accept it and then go, okay, it's not going to be easy, but something has got to give. And that's why I really love what you call the L.I.F.E method, because it really encompasses the things that we need to do. So tell us a bit more about your signature method.
Yay. Okay. This is my favorite part too. So within the L.I.F.E method, you identify your desired lifestyle, your identity, your feelings, and your expression. So it's an acronym, L-I-F-E. And these are essentially the elements of your life that you can control. So when I regularly do the method from both a personal and professional standpoint, I come away with knowledge that informs my next steps, my next tasks, my daily schedule, things I need to be aware of, things I need to let go of, things I need to focus on, decisions I need to make. And these are all now coming from a place of empowerment and alignment because I'm tapping into my desires. And at that point, I'm not coming from a place of fear and lack and uncertainty, because when you make choices from a place of fear and lack and uncertainty, I find that you'll likely sustain the fear and lack and uncertainty. So that's usually why this type of clarity with the L.I.F.E method is usually the first step before you do anything.
And that's critical because I know one of the steps in your method is identifying what your why is. And we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, but for any deep work that really helps you put your business in a place where it supports what's most important to you, you got to know what's important to you because, what's important to me, Shannon, is not what's maybe most important to Christina or, the person next door or your best friend. All of us have different values. Now, our values may align, but our priorities are in different order. And we know in mom life, we can set all the priorities in the world that we want, but life happens and priorities shift out of our control, whether we like it or not. But
Yeah.
as long as we know what's most important, we can keep things kind of centered to where we can still be productive, even though things keep happening. And there was a quote on or a message, one of your Instagram posts that I loved. I think it said, "When life gives you lemons," I'm going to leave the dot, 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 and you can finish
Yeah.
that one.
Let's see, what was that one? It was one of my little mirror selfies. When life gives you lemons, make orange juice and leave the world wondering how you did it.
I love that.
It is one of my favorites because, we are given lemons in life, and we're given what we're given. And as much as we wish for, different circumstances or more things or a different type of lifestyle or any of that stuff, we have to work with what we have. And usually what we have is based on the decisions that we've made for ourselves, whether or not those decisions were truly what we wanted at the time. And so really what you're doing is if let's say you have my story, for instance, I had a business that was strictly, it was mostly digital marketing that I provided. I implemented a lot of projects for my clients, and it just took a lot of energy from me. And I had these were basically the lemons, right? I had my clients, they were giving me the business that I needed. I was profiting from them and I was doing their work, but I didn't love it. I didn't love the work. So what I did was I took those lemons and I was like, you know what? I'm good at marketing. I'm good at this whole consulting gig. I really enjoy teaching and training other people and empowering them, most importantly. So how can I completely switch this around so that I can make it work for me? And that's kind of where the orange juice came in. I know that this is the weirdest analogy you've probably ever heard, but you know what I'm saying.
I do, but that's what makes it memorable. Because, we're all familiar with when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But that stuck in my mind because it turned the tables to something else. It's like, make it into something else, and then people are going to wonder how you did it. And then you get to explain your backstory, which helps with your marketing as they can understand where you're coming from. So, keeping that in mind, what are some tips that you can give that relate to how this applies to marketing? Because marketing is hard, especially if that's not your specialty or your wheelhouse. So a lot of, my listeners, and I know, and I struggle with this sometimes too. How can we do it?
Sure. So how can we do marketing based on kind of a different type of clarity, I would say that the first thing would be to think about marketing differently. Marketing has been obviously handed down from a corporate standard, as you know, and it's the kind that I've witnessed is the one that's very data driven and results based and not always done ethically. I think you might understand what by that I essentially mean that there's a lot of, it's very salesy, it's a little pushy, and it's kind of it can make people uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we've all seen examples of what that kind of marketing looks like. And so essentially you want to, what I say when I tell people that they should market themselves is don't even think about the word marketing. Think about showing up, being seen, and shining. And by that, I basically am simplifying and modernizing the approach to marketing so that instead of feeling like you're making a sale, what you're really doing is making an invitation. And that's really what marketing is showing up and being seen and shining. And when you shine your light, you light up another. And with this type of mindset, it's infused with more heart that way. So the first thing I would say is definitely to think of marketing differently. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with being data-driven and results-based. In fact, data is incredibly valuable and results are what we want. But there's a human factor that we often forget to consider. And there's a deep need, especially right now, for connection and authenticity and reliability.
And that's good because, as you mentioned, authenticity, just be yourself, which, can be hard, or we make it harder than it has to be because we can see some people doing so much, especially on Instagram, which we know that's like fast paced reels, stories, post, carousel, the list goes on and on and on. And in our minds, we tell ourselves, oh, I need to do all of these things. Yeah. But that may not necessarily align with who we are, with our business, with our values, and kind of throws us off. So then we're forcing it and we don't get the authenticity that's needed, which then disconnects us from our customers. And we know it happens, but keeping that in mind, then how can we not only be more productive when it comes to how we approach our marketing based on your L.I.F.E method, but how can that also help us with the way that we do things in our business?
Sure. So I would say, and we talked about this before the show started, but one important mistake that I don't want your listeners to make is what I did when I first started my business, back when I did all the things. So for me, the best type of productivity is aligned productivity. And as moms, we kind of learn that, which is really funny. We learn how to do the things like the most efficiently. Nobody can do things the way that we do. But when it comes to your business, I'm talking about the kind of productivity that isn't keeping you busy just to be busy. And like you said earlier, Instagram, you see all these people with all, posting every day and stories all the time, never ending 24-hour, whatever the rule, whatever the rule is on stories. They're just always posting. They've got reels coming out. They spend so much time on all this stuff, but that's not a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. And if Instagram isn't one of your top converting sources, it's not worth putting that much effort into it. So it's the kind of productivity you want to focus on that feels good, that inspires you, that doesn't burn you out. We get enough burnout as moms. We don't need it to infiltrate our businesses. So basically, I think that if you're looking to be more productive in business, look for the kind of productivity that feels aligned, that feels like that feels inspired. And usually, people talk about inspired action all the time, but it really does make a difference when you're just doing things just to do things, just to check a box off your list. It's harder to do it, and it doesn't always turn out as great. But when you're doing something that actually feels good and feels inspires and feels like you got full body chills and you're just like shining and you've got this light about you, that is different. And it comes across as different. And we have to remember that our vibe is a language too. It speaks it's a big language. It speaks louder than words. So having that energetic, relationship with your productivity can really benefit you as a business owner.
Yes, and I love that you mentioned vibe because I mean, we've all heard the saying, your tribe is your vibe. So if what we're portraying online, via social media isn't really who we are, that's what we're going to start attracting. So if we're not the dancing, I'll just be transparent about reels. Anyone who knows me knows, not that I hate reels, but I'm not a big fan. I guess hate is a strong word, but I'm not a big fan of the dancing puppet videos.
Can't handle it. You'll never see me do that.
Okay, thank you. If that's not you, don't do it. And you can tell when that's really not who someone is because they look so uncomfortable. Believe me, you're not gonna see me dancing in a Reels video either. I'm not doing
Nope.
it. Like if that's what it takes to use Instagram more effectively, then too bad, so sad. I'm just not gonna be successful then. But
yeah,
that's also knowing what works for you so
yes.
you can shine. I know it's not me. It's not you. It's not a lot of people. And it works for some people, but it doesn't work for my people.
Nope.
They all
No.
feel exactly the same way. So this really has been a great conversation. So do you have any other hidden nuggets that you'd like to share with us to help us to tap into our soul power as we, try to clean up our business and get things in order to be more aligned?
I would say to download the L.I.F.E method. I honestly, the feedback that I've gotten from it so far is that it is so foundational to your success as a business owner. But honestly, you could use it in any area of your life. If you're feeling like you need clarity as a mom, go for it. Use it for your personal life. I use it both personally and professionally. It is my most foundational offering, and it's entirely free. So it's a mini course with 6 video lessons, a workbook, and a bonus lesson for my signature program, which is the Soul Powered Business Program. And it's honestly, the feedback that I've gotten is that it's revolutionary. It can honestly just propel you in a direction that you just never thought you'd go because you're finally tuning into your desires. And it's something that you can regularly turn back to. So, being the end of the year where we are right now, this is the perfect time for you to do this type of work. Like, set yourself up for success in 2022. Like, just get the ball rolling, but first start with clarity.
Yes, and I love that you mentioned you can use it for personal and business because one thing I always emphasize, our life affects our business and our business affects our life. If you try to separate the two, you are going to fail because there is no degree of separation, let's be honest. And for most of us, we're working from home, so there really is no degree of separation except for you may have an office where you can close the door, but someone can open it from the other side. So
Yep.
everything we do really needs to, I know we've said align like 5 million times, but it needs to work with each other. They need to complement each other because one drives the other. And if both of them are driving us crazy, what does that leave us with? Burnout.
Exactly.
So I have a bonus question for you, being that you are about to be a mom of
Second time.
2 little ones. Yes. So when this episode airs, I'm going to say your baby new bundle will be hopefully a few weeks old by then. Not at the time that we're recording, but when it airs. So what systems do you have in either your life or in your business that really help you maintain your sanity now that you'll continue to use when you've got that newborn as well? And you have a little puppy, right?
Yes, I have a toddler, a puppy, and a newborn. So yes, I would say that the system that I use that I have used and that I will continue to use is to is essentially based off the L.I.F.E method. So I learned in the L.I.F e method that I need to prioritize myself. But one thing that I would say would probably be the most beneficial from a standpoint of productivity is to embrace that everything that I feel that I need in any moment is productive. So rest is productive, stillness is productive. And creating a system that's based off of prioritizing my needs. And notice I didn't say prioritize yourself, because that's such an easy thing to say and think about and write off. But if you're prioritizing your needs, that's a system to really live by. That's when you know that you're really in alignment with yourself, that you're really embracing who you are as a person, what you need as a person. It helps you delegate better. It helps you make decisions more wisely. It helps you act more efficiently. So when you're prioritizing your needs in that way and making that kind of your system, like that's your system, is when you're just doing based on what you need at the time. That I think will really, it has set me up for success in the past, and I think it will continue to do so.
And I totally agree, because I am a big proponent of me time, whether that's 5 minutes or 50 minutes or more, especially because we're so busy taking care of everyone else that we forget we need to be taken care of too. And sometimes there's simple things that we can do. Pause and just breathe and look out the window. It does amazing things.
It does.
Step outside, breathe in some fresh air.
Yep. Create rituals and routines that really just, they light you up. They keep you. They don't shift you in any way, and they just keep you grounded and stable and conscious of who you are and what you've got.
Yes. So we are part of the movement of, we're going to say, me time, not self-care. You need me time.
Yes.
Because I've done several episodes on the importance of having a morning routine, a nighttime routine, a daily routine, because those are the things that help us fill up our cup so that we can continue to pour into everyone else. So that is great. And if you can see this beautiful smile on her face right now as we're talking about this, that lets you know that this is what we practice on a regular basis. And if you don't believe us, try it for yourself and try to prove us wrong. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, Christina, thank you so much for joining us today. It has truly been a pleasure talking with you and getting these practical lifestyle tips from you to help us not only in our business, but in our personal life as well.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Honestly, I'm so honored that I could be here today. And I really, really hope that your audience just gets aligned, get their business aligned, and get ready for 2022.
Yes. Now, before I let you go, where can they find you online so they can get more of these nuggets that you share on a regular basis?
Sure. So you mentioned my Instagram channel, which is at the Christina Gio, and my name is spelled with a CH. So that's the Christina Gio is my handle for that. And it's actually my handle for most of my socials. So if anybody wants to check me out on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn, I'm there. And then I have my website, which is ChristinaGiordano.com. And that's actually where you can find the free mini course for the L.I.F.E method. It's under the Get Guidance page, so you can check that out as well. And then I have a free Facebook group that's geared towards my soul-powered entrepreneurs. So if you consider yourself a soul-powered entrepreneur, if you even want to know what that means, head over to the group and join. I'll let you in.
Awesome. And I'm going to put links to a lot of these places where you can find Christina Online in the show notes to make it real easy for you, so you can just click and connect. I want to say thank you for tuning into this week's episode. Now that you've heard Christina's L.I.F.E method, I know you're going to be able to arrange your business to support what you really want in 2022 and onward. Now, if you consider yourself a soul power entrepreneur and you want more tips from Christina, be sure to follow her on Instagram and take advantage of her free L.I.F.E mini course. I'm going to put a link to everything in the show notes. Now, if you want to show the podcast some love and help me reach more busy women with these kind of tips so that they can get more done by doing less and build success on their own terms, please take a screenshot, post it in Instagram stories, and tag me at @the_Shannon Baker. I cannot wait to hear from you. And remember, you are more than enough. So until next time, keep calm and streamline.